Hello, all. So I was doing my chores today, and last night I was reading over the genes that we had discovered and just reading the summaries that we put in from the data science, and it was taffy one. And I saw that RIC1, the RIC1 gene, that we had two groups that had that gene, have an association with 9p24.1 chromosome 9 p-arm section 24.1. Well, I just did some work on another study, Epstein-Barr virus and elderly population Hodgkin's and lymphoma, diffuse large B-cell lymphoma, and that one seemed to be a relevant loci where two genes, PDL1 and PDL2, seem to be present and showing some suspect changes in these types of lymphomas. So we also found another one in that one. I didn't do any videos for that. This is the first project I'm actually doing videos for. From here, I'll probably start doing that. And I'm logging my hours because I have a small business and I can write us off for all the hours that there are. There was a way to do it. So yeah, I don't get paid for this. So if I choose to drink beer or coffee, that's my choice, okay? Because there's no rule that says I can't, because I'm not working with people, okay? This is me recording the stuff I'm doing online, and I can share the screen, and it is accurate. So that is that. And I don't plan on working for the government or any kind of affiliates. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen right now. We're gonna go into these genes right here. I already moved them to this folder over here where I did a bunch of other studies. This is the one I was talking about. Now, if we go in here, I want to just open up this section right here first. This is the reference article to that study that did the diffuse large B cell, and their research was on this PDL1, and they're saying high variations of copy variants for the genes that are around chromosome 9 is related to Hodgkin's, as well as a change between the Hodgkin's and the polymorphic diffuse large B cell right here. So it was an elderly population, and I looked up what these autistic people are. The average age of the autistic people we've been working on was 9 years old. So, and it said that it's give or take 7 to 12 years. So 12 on 9, oldest 21, take away 7 or take away 12. You can't from 9. So 7, 2 to 21 years old. And they're all males. That's what it said. Oh, actually only 77 of them are males. That's what it said. Actually, we could just go look at that and we'll verify it, but they don't give us the information. This one actually attached to that demographic information. So when it goes to an LMP1, that is a gene with Epstein-Barr virus that is seen in nasopharyngeal cancer, and then there's gastric cancer also. The EBNA1 and 2, those are actually the actual virus. So you won't see it in the human. That is whenever it takes over in that chromosome loci. It says that it's an LMP1 likes to hang out in chromosome 1. But the PDL1 that we're seeing here, 9P in here, it's saying that basically PDL1, which they don't have an actual gene for, so they use this section right here, which is right next to RIC1, which is in the autism one, and then this PDL2 is a little downstream from it, and it uses this type of name. So those are found to be in CHL and diffuse large B-cell lymphomas of the elderly 50 to 94 years old. More males than females. They all had Epstein-Barr virus. And so I was doing my chores, and I came up with a little song. It's called, okay, so a virus infection, the gift that keeps on giving. Epstein-Barr virus. It starts in your nose and then it goes to your throat. And then sometimes it goes all into the gastrointestinal tract. And if you survive that, you might have B cells in your lymph nodes, large B cells. And it can go to your intraductal lobe of the duodenum and attack that area as well, creating tumors. There's links to colon cancer too, which I haven't gotten to. So Epstein-Barr virus, the gift that keeps on giving. We're learning so much about it. It could be connected to so many we've seen. How do you like my song? Yeah? Okay, good. I know. There's no rhyme or reason. It sounded better when I was singing it when I was doing my chores. But okay, for now, we're going to leave this open. Let's go into, we're just going to go into that database. We're pretty much done on those genes. I can't add any genes to that database other than those genes that are there. But we could possibly look at this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move this back to the desktop real quick just because I feel like we're going to work on it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it and post it right back to the desktop. All right. And this is the one we made. Let's go ahead because I'm thinking if we can find those gene break accession IDs, we can look it up in the big data, but we had that problem with making the big data with the gene IDs because they were all gene break accession IDs. So if we need to find PDL1 and PDL2 in the big data to see the changes, that would be useful because then we could see if there is a connection between Epstein-Barr virus and autism. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's look at this. We don't need to look at the research article. You can look at it if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and open up this, the database we added the gene summaries to manually. We regrouped it. So here's some genes. I highlighted only the ones that actually had a summary. Now, if you need to learn to filter anything, you go over to you select filter, and then these little arrows come up. Deselect everything by selecting select all again. And then we can go into the savant, or we can go into the mild, or we can go into the language. But let's look, and we can see the genes that are there highlighted. So there is no RIC1 in the savant, but there are two RIC1s, so they must be in the mild and the language. So we'll go ahead and do that. Let's deselect savant. We'll go into the mild and the language. I looked up RIC1 because I thought it was a fake gene. Chromosome 9P, and I didn't even recognize that, but it's chromosome 9. Here's RIC1, but there is no summary on gene code. It didn't get highlighted. And that's RIF1. Okay. So we should have another RIC1 because these aren't ordered alphabetically. All right. There are two of them. Since it's not highlighted because there's no information, it was actually probably already in the savant one. So we'll just deselect, we'll just cancel this. We'll just get rid of the filter. We'll clear the filter, remove it. You don't see any more arrows anymore. And we'll just go down to the work one. So this one's saying it's with the language. And then we go to another one. Okay, I guess there is only one. Oh, no, it is savant. So it wasn't highlighted, so we skipped over it. But it doesn't have a summary, but it is here saying it's at this chromosome 9, and this is the start location, and this is the end location. It's saying it's on the forward strand because there's a positive there. This one's on the negative strand, this THOC, which is the reverse strand. Forward strand is going to the right. We found, and then the reverse strand is going that way. So one will be the complementary DNA called the antisense strand, alternate name for it. And then one will be the DNA strand. And it really is from like 3' to 5'. And when it copies, I believe it's like 5' to 3'. But you're really better off when that happens to know one and just say it's the other one. Whenever it's like, oh, does it copy 5' to 3'? Oh, does it copy 3' to 5'? And then you get confused because you're like, huh? What is it? You're like, just know one. And then whatever the other one is, that's the other one. A messenger RNA is a copy of the antisense strand, then it will be the sense strand, but in RNA. And if it's a copy of the sense strand that's made from the complementary DNA strand, then it's that one. But yeah, it's a double bond. There's only 4 nucleotides in DNA, 4 nucleotides in RNA, no uracil in DNA. So if you see a T, you know you're working with complementary DNA or DNA. If you see a U, you know you're working with RNA. And whenever they run these through the machines, they use uracil. So they use RNA. I haven't seen any that use straight DNA because it's usually a copy of that. So it's the pre-messenger RNA. Take out the introns, extrons, becomes the messenger RNA in the cytoplasm once it's out the nucleus. And this is all in the cell. MicroRNAs are what control whether a messenger RNA is going to get made or not. They can block the binding of the amino acids before it goes to a ribosome and say, no, not you, you're not going. Or they can enhance it and make it easier, have more of them, promoting that gene to get built. So some people study microRNAs because they think there's an influence there in pathology, and most likely, yeah, sure, could be. So they try to do that, but there's just what I've seen, all of the gene expression data that I'm using. I don't work with labs. I don't work with that kind of data, so I'm not gonna look at the microRNA, but I believe it is probably in the single cell RNA that they find. They're all proteins, so they are made in the nucleus. They have to make its own parts too. So all those ribosomes, all those transcript factors that help transcribe the protein. Transcription happens before translation. You know this because the C in transcription and the L in translation, that was from Amoeba Sister. So if you want to look up their videos on YouTube, they're really good at like helping you know chemistry and biology. Yeah, because they make it really cartoony, and they actually do sing songs. But I actually don't learn by singing. It's distracting. I will never. And they don't, and it always seems like that's incorrect or something. Like, what? I don't know. So let's go to that. Okay, so we have, let's just filter again. And then here we are. We're going to go ahead and filter for the locus. Okay, anything that begins with a 9. So we'll go right here. We'll go right here. We'll go right here. Oh, and the X chromosome. That's an interesting one too, because that means it's X-linked. There's so many X-linked pathologies in there. This one right here, septin 6, is on the X chromosome. So the female is the carrier, but it doesn't necessarily mean she's the one who is expressing it in her own phenotype. And then we have the RIC1, and RIC1 is the only one. Oh, it's not. It's actually aquaporn 7 is also another area. So we'll go manually into those ones. Oh, and PBX3 is also one. And there we go. So RIC1 is right around that neighborhood. So we're going to go ahead and open up that last markdown file we made. And it will open up. We're just going to run our code. This is actually my second cup of coffee. Creamer. I have a dentist cleaning later today. So we're not going to be here that long. All right, so let's just run every chunk. Run all. And then we're going to be looking at the gene bank accession number that we had for RIC1. And it is on a, I believe it's on a separate, nope, it is on one of the later data frames that we had. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we are going to add some more stuff to this. Point 1, loci. So I'm just going to look up this name I'm writing right now. So we had it saved here. This is the published article. And they did a bunch of data science with this stuff too. So if you want to see the difference, you can look at those directly. Those are histology. Okay, so PDL2 is the PDCD1LG2 gene. I'm going to copy that. Nope, I did not want to add a comment. I'm just going to Control C and see if it types it in. All right. We have an interest in comparing the gene expression values of PDL1 and PDL2 for this autism spectrum disorder data. We have to pull up the gene bank accession IDs for those genes and reference them in the big data set made much earlier in this project. Okay. We are done running that. So now let's go to NCBI. And then we're going to just go inside this. Let's just look for PDL1 first. And then we'll just go to the gene. It might have a... I definitely want to use Homo sapiens, humans. And then CD274 is also it. Let's look for a gene bank accession ID so that we can look this up. And well, actually, it has the graphics right here. So CD274, this is the one that they're using for PDL1. Now, if we go a little bit away from that, RIC1 is in here. Hold on, is this it? PLG RKT. So let's see, let's zoom out a little bit. Because we can actually go to that one. and see. Okay, so that's PDL1. I remember it was on this side. Some of these might be it too. PLG, okay. Okay, those are all copy number variants. Let's see what this one is. All right, so keep in mind that's CD274. Let's go down upstream because that's the forward trend, right? Okay, and the reverse trend is that way. So downstream is to the left. Okay. So we're going upstream. And we got this one. This is the PDL2. They use this for PDL2. And you can see it's in chromosome 9. Chromosome 9 right here. Now, when it goes by section, it's 24.1. But really, it just has these, the actual start and stop for that nucleotide sequence. So they're all copy number variants. When you see them, those are those introns and extrons that are removed. This gene is line CR1. Okay, so this one's not showing it. We can go to look it up directly. All right, gene ID. Okay, let's see if this one shows the chromosome. Genome location, genomic location. And we have it. Is this it? Rick 1. So this is Rick 1. And then let's look at what is nearby it. So I just clicked on it, and those are all the copy number variants. It's quite a bit. Let's declick that. We're going to zoom out so we can see where the CD274 is here. Okay. And then Rick 1 is upstream from it. So here we are. And then we have the other gene, PDL2, is right here. So that's PDL1, PDL2. Well, I was looking at it yesterday on Rick Blast, and it seemed like it had a completely different location over here. But this one is upstream from both of them. So it's in the 5.600 or 5.6 million to 5.7 million. And this one, 5.5 to 5.7. So there's definitely some overlap, as this one starts at 5.6 and that one goes to 5.7. There is overlap with PDL2. And then this one is PDL1, and it is from 5.4 to 5.4. 5.45 to 5.47. No overlap with PDL1, but there's overlap with PDL2. Those were genes that were relevant in the large B-cell diffuse lymphoma and classic Hodgkin's lymphoma seen in the elderly, especially in immunodeficiency as the T cells start declining. If you need to know with natural killer cells, all men are natural killers. That's a mnemonic. And those are from your lymphocytes, your hematopoietic. So you have the white blood cells. So all of your white blood cells that are in men, MEN, are natural killer cells. Those are what work with your T cells, monocytes, eosinophils, and neutrophils. Neutrophils are always higher than monocytes. There's another mnemonic for that. It's called never let monkeys eat bananas, for a descending order of how great they are naturally in the body. They're going to be higher than neutrophils in acute infections where it's fighting a recent antigen as it destroys them and packs them on cells and sends it out so that then the other killer cells can destroy it. You have different processes from your immune system. You can watch a YouTube video on that. I'm sure Media to Sisters probably has it, or anybody else of high relevance and credibility. So we see that it is in the same area, 9p24.1. It's just a section of the chromosome. So now we're just going to go back. You've seen it for yourself, but let's look on BLAST because we're going to just get this accession number because I swear I thought I saw it on BLAST completely different. It was upstream from these two, but here it's saying it's downstream. So we already have, okay, so we'll go to the BLAST site. And then we'll just go to the nucleotide BLAST. And then maybe we can get the FASTA sequence from this. Genomic location, accession, gene bank accession, genomic location. This is the reference one. Oh, yeah, the genome assembly. We were using 38p14, so this one would be the one. And then you have to pay attention to that too, because there's different projects that use different ones. Like there's an HG, human genome 37, 38. And then you have all the other ones. I've only worked with human genome. So I've never really explored all of this, but I just copy number variants that show up. Different mutations, single nucleotide polymorphisms, where one nucleotide can take on different amino acids, and sometimes that leads to different nucleic acids can replace it, and that can lead to different amino acids once it's transcribed and then translated into a different protein and with different functions, or destroyed by the microRNA. So for this one, let's go to the actual document that might have the gene bank accession ID. It does right here. So this is the one, the gene bank accession ID that we merged with it. I just Control-C copied it. I'm going to go here to the BLAST site, put it in, the accession number, go to genomic and transcript databases, select that. Under the database row, open in a new window, and then we basic local align search tool it. All right, so what we have here, we'll go to the graphics. We're looking for the chromosome. Okay, so here we are. This is this search query. It's the RIC1. We already know it is because that's the gene bank accession ID. And this is the gene overlying that query. We're at the chromosome location. It is 9p24.1. Let's go ahead and zoom out. And then this whole thing is the RIC1 gene. Now, we know there's other genes because this is where we are, okay? So we're just gonna keep zooming out. There's an ERMP1, RIC1. Okay, so it is upstream because that's PDL2. And if I go more downstream, I'm gonna see that's PDL2. This is RIC1, autism. This is diffuse large B-cell lymphoma or Hodgkin's lymphoma. Same here, that's PDL1 using an alternate name, CD274. So it is upstream from them, but they are all in the same chromosomal region. So we're just going to see if there are some changes in this location as well. And if it is the genes related to Epstein-Barr virus, maybe there's a connection. So we'll go ahead and close these other windows out. We're not searching for anything right now. We're just going to stay within our project. So we have our data. Actually, I did want to get the gene bank accession IDs for the, the big GB added. We're just looking at our viewer window. The gene banks accession IDs are going to be at the end. This table also has our fold change values. So we're going to know right away once we get that gene ID from the gene bank accession ID for PDL1 or CD274 and PDL2. We're looking for that right now. So I'll just do, okay, we need to find the gene bank. Okay, I'm just gonna put what we're doing. We are using the BIG-GB added data frame to find the GB ACC IDs for the PDL1 and PDL2 genes of CD247 and PDCD1LG2, respectively. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have put a little image in here. Let's look at a screenshot of the 9p24.1 loci of chromosome 9, where RAC1 and CD247 and PDCD1 LG2 genes live. Okay, so I didn't make it yet. I'm going to fill it here though. Chromosome 9p24.1 with high variation gene genes in CHL. So I'm going to put this right here. You list the name of the abbreviation in parentheses. We already have the images folder. What I'm going to do is just take a shot. It's right here. I'm going to have it back in, but it's really not going to be bad or anything. I'm just going to show you what we just looked up. I might actually have it already in my clipboard. Yeah, so there it is. Okay. And here. Here is our search query for the gene bank accession ID. And then we're going to go ahead and zoom out because we already know that gene right above it is RIC1. So here's RIC1, and we're going to go over. Okay, so here is RIC1. And then I'm going to take a screenshot of this. What the heck? All right, no, that did not turn out right. Okay, screenshot. Rectangle. And then we're going to mark it and save. This is Windows 11. Just save it. We're just going to say that it's the RIC1. And we're saving it to our images folder in our Savant folder where all of our data is. Okay, good. So save that. Now we're just going to close this for now. For now, we're closing it. And then we're just going to put Rick 1 right there, and it should show it. Great. When it prints out, you can actually see it larger than that. But that just shows a proof. Hey, from the image, you can see that Rick 1 is upstream from the PDL1 and PDL2 genes, where PDL2 is closer to it and actually have a nucleotide gene that overlaps it. Okay. Control S. Now we're going to get the gene bank accession so we can merge this data with the gene. Now we have to find the GB ACC IDs for PDL1 and PDL2 to get from our big GB added dataset, and then compare fold change values across the 3 types of ASD. Okay, let's go ahead and go back to the NCBI site. Actually, on gene cards, I think it'll have the gene bank accession number. So we'll go to PDL1, CD274. And it has all the aliases and external IDs. We're looking for a gene bank accession ID. NCBI gene, genomics. Gene enhancer. A gene bank accession ID. See, that is how we're gonna have. We can find it in our database, though. That's what I know to do. Other things you can put it in the chat, and if you've been a subscriber for at least a day, you should see it, and if it's appropriate. There's a PubMed on it, but I'm not really seeing any gene bank accession ID, so I guess we'll just have to Google it. Gene bank accession ID for PDL1. Messenger RNA, it might be this one, so we're going to go ahead and search for it. Okay, so protein sequence, we haven't got to protein. This is messenger RNA. And then we'll see if it's in there. And the Google search for PDL2. Is this one. All right, let's just grep and see if we can find it in the GB_ACC column, field feature of big GB added data set. All right, so we're gonna see one grep. Oh, big, that one. Okay, we need to actually look for this this right here. We might get okay. If not, then we'll remove that dot from it by GB. CC. Let's see if anything shows up. It's an empty integer. So let's go ahead and remove that and see if anything shows up. No, it's nothing. So it looks like we don't PDL1. Unless it's okay, let's see if it's PDL2. That's not letting me run it. Hold on. No, I have to run it individually. Empty. All right, so now we're gonna go up here and make sure that that's the name. GBACC. GBACC. It's there. And there are 41,000 entries, but not all of them have entries for the GBACC. Gene bank accession. Oh, yeah. That's weird. Okay. Let's see if there's another. These alternate names. PDCD1 LG2. Okay, let's look up this one instead. It has the gene ID, HG and CIG, ensemble, and here's the gene bank accession ID. That's not the same one that we just. Gene bank accession ID. Okay, let's look at that one. And we're also going to change this to, what's the other one? PDCD1LG2. Let's run this. Oh, it's also empty. All right. Oh, that's not looking very good. Let's see. C247. Oh, 274 actually. Gene bank reference sequences. There's a few of them, but we don't want the alternate assembly because this one did use the HG38 or GRCH38. All right, let's go ahead and do that. That one. Also empty. Is it even showing up any of the stuff that we need? Let's just make sure if it shows up anything for Rick 1. Well, it is working for something that is there, but this data doesn't have any information for the PDL1 or PDL2 genes. So we are done there. And this one is 13,248. This location. Okay. So let's just go ahead and just look at that one. So we'll go ahead and GB added group bracket. And then we'll just look at one. We'll do the page table. Okay, we'll just run this chunk. Run current chunk. So here we are. We'll scroll down. Here's the gene bank accession ID. This is the RIC1 gene, but this is the gene. This is the data before we found the gene manually. So we actually selected RIC1 because it was directly above where this ID is, A1016962. It was directly above it. We could have selected the other genes because they were far from it compared to this one that was directly over it. The fold change for the language is upregulated. So language over healthy, 8.9. So 8.9 times healthy is upregulated as a mean average. The mild is 2.8. Fold change times is high compared to healthy, and the savant is almost equally as high as in the language over healthy expression. So the RIC1 is overexpressed in all. It is overexpressed, upregulated, or stimulated as alternate descriptors for this gene on the gene expression fold change value for language, mild and savant, with the language and savant ASD most overexpressed compared to healthy levels of the mean. If we wanted to get the median values of this, we'll just look at the samples to compare. Oh, nothing's running. What is this? None of the chunks are running. Oh, because that thing is blocking it. It will be 4 to 100 and columns 4 to 119. Let's close that. Like it was in the other ones. Those are the samples. We would apply the median of this, and then it would be per sample using the same class feature. We still have the class that identifies the controls, healthy and sample. To do that, I'm going to go actually to a different so yeah, because it's a different process to get the median. Let's compare median gene expression values for this gene RC1 over the healthy, language, mild, and supplement groups. And then compare to the mean values to see if skew values of outliers are in the data. Okay, so I can just ask Google. Okay, apply the median to rows in R. So that gave nothing back. Okay. Here's something. Apply. Okay, so we're gonna apply it to the matrix or the data frame. Actually, you don't need to make a matrix for this. It's gonna be 1, which is 1 for rows, 2 for columns. If we were doing that, we're gonna list the rows that it's in, and the median is what function we're using. And na.remove equals true. Okay. So it is using the apply function. Rick1 medians. Okay. Oh, median healthy. Okay. Apply Rick1 to the columns that are the control, which will be, let's look at the class. All right. So it's the 1st through the 29th, but we also have to take account of the order because it doesn't start at the 1st. It starts at the 4th. Okay, so we're going to go 4 and then add 29 because it's 1 through 29 for controls. Okay, so it would be 4, and there's 29 of them. 29 plus the 4. Okay, so hold on, let me see. Just because I just want to make sure it's correct because hold on. 4 plus 29 equals 33. Okay, so you have to, okay. There's 33. 4 through 33. Just want to make sure that's a 29 long vector though. Okay, so 4 through 33, because you add 29 to it. Okay, because 1 plus 29 is 30. So that would be 30 and not 29. So I think we should go with 32. 4 to 32. All right here, because that includes the boundaries. And that will be 29. Because you have to include the 4th one and the last one. 32 minus 4 is 28. But you're not taking away 4, you're taking away. want to include 4. So that's 29. All right. And then we got to say it's 1 in a dot removed equals true. Let's just see if that works. Function is missing. Oh, yeah, the median. Rick 1 median healthy, name number 0. Oh, Rick 1. Okay, Rick 1. Yeah, because it's only just that one. Okay. So we'll just not use that one. Okay, median healthy. It's got nothing there. So all right. Let's just see row medians. Yeah, okay. Median. Okay, Rick 1. Rick 1. And it is 4 through 32. I'll just do that. Let's see if it shows anything. Numeric data. Oh. Median of Rick 1. Oh, it's just a vector right here. And those are the rows to add. I mean, those are the columns to add by that row, the median. Not sure why. Oh, new numeric data. Numeric structure. It's numeric. Okay. See. Columns. We could act. Okay. So 1. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's not working. We can go and then look at it. Median X, anytime boss. An object with a method has been defined. Right vector between the values is median is to be computed. Logically indicating whether any value should be stripped before the computation proceeds. Potentially further hints from details, volume, examples. Median 1 through 4. Median vector numeric values. So it's not looking at this. Okay. Yeah, that's not helpful. So we are going to go ahead and let's see. Whenever we added that, hold on. Okay. Yeah, the median's not really working here because for some reason it's not recognizing this as numeric data. It appears that we could just look at it and see. There's really a lot of zeros there. There's not really much there. So, okay. Let's just go with this way. Okay. Median Rick 1. It's going to be Rick 1. And it is zeros 4 through 32. Let's just see how large that is. Or actually, I should have made that healthy. There's 29 there, good, because that's how many. Okay. And then we're going to look at, okay, we need to make this healthy. Healthy Rick one. Let's remove the median one. Healthy Rick one, and then let's go to the language Rick one. We'll just leave it here. Mild. And so on. Okay. So the next one, let's look at the class again, because we've already counted what they are. Just to make it easier, let's make some, okay, one. Actually, this would just be so much easier if we just Rick one samples. Rick one 4 through 119. 119. Okay, great. Now we don't have to really do anything now because we can just use this directly. So it will be 1 through 29. Okay, and then the language, because see, it's 1 through 29, then 30 through 60 is the language. Charlie, like there's so many words, it's doing this. Okay. 30 through 60 is the language. Mild is 61 through 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 61 to 86. And this one's 87 to 119. Wait, 116. Okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That is 81, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 87 to 116. Great, and now we're going to go ahead and get the median of it. Oh, yeah, it's actually Rick one samples. We have to change that too. It's underscore samples. And then we'll see if it works. Oh, darn it. Cannot find function. Oh, maybe. Oh, that's right. We were doing the wrong one. Okay. Let's go ahead and cut that. And it's this one. Wow. All right. Let's see if it works now. Oh, what am I doing here? Error median.default. Need numeric data. This is just not working. What the heck? Okay. What is wrong with this function? This function is not cool at all. Looks like you have to use it with apply. Oh. Okay, these are just going to be little vectors. 20, mild has 26, savant has 30, language has 31. Healthy has 29. Okay. 29. Language health 31. Mild has 26. And Savant has 31. 30. Okay. So I'm not sure why it's not showing up, but that is not how a function is supposed to work. One. I guess it's not numeric. Okay, as dot numeric. As dot numeric. Let's try that one. Let's see if it runs. Oh, just okay. Median as dot numeric. Healthy Rick 1. Healthy Rick 1. 0 is the median. And that's not empty. It means that there's just, when you line them all up, all the samples, 29 samples, the median is 0. And we can look at that right now. Oh, actually, we can't because we got rid of it. That was it right there. We can look at it right now, yeah. So all the zeros lined up, but it's not in order. And there's only one sample that has anything there, and it's that sample right there. Let's leave this one out because that apparently works, but we're going to keep the vector. Do that again. Okay. All right. Let's make a bunch more little chunks. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and look at our samples. Healthy. Healthy. Page table. Okay, now we're going to do the median healthy Rick 1, but as dot numeric. We're not storing it as anything. That's 0. All right, and then we'll go ahead and look at our language. Okay, I'm going to put this here. The median value of healthy samples is 0. Language. Oh, it's not put. Language. Oh, language Rick 1. Let's go ahead and order as dot numeric language 1. Okay, let's go ahead and do Rick 1. Language Rick 1. Language Rick 1. Order. Oh yeah, that's for the rows. Okay, I put this in one. And then the values, they do have values towards the end. So we'll go ahead and get the median as dot numeric language 1 is also 0. All right, and then let's go ahead and do the mild. Many of these samples had 0 values for this gene. Okay. Actually, we can just... Well, you can also do summary stats of it too, but let's go ahead and mild 1 order mild 1 order numeric. Oops. Okay. A lot of zeros, and then only a few have. And we'll go ahead and get the median. Zero. So the median of language is 0 as well. The median of mild is also 0. We're going to go ahead and look. And let's see. Oh, yes. Let's go ahead and get the median as dot numeric. The median of savant is also 0. So clearly the median is going to skew the average or mean of these samples, as there were no zeros in the mean values of each group, but only a few of these samples, like up to a handful each of 29 to 31 samples each had a numeric value other than 0 for the RAC1 gene. That could be due to the sampling error or dropping very low numeric values. But somehow RIC1 was a gene that was able to make it to the top genes in top 10 most upregulated fold change by mean value of pathology group over value of healthy. Okay. So that is it for this. We were just looking to see if there was something there. Basically, what that's saying is that the RIC1 gene is not in all these samples, and it did make it to one of the top genes, and it is in the chromosome 9p24.1 location, and we can't compare it to the upregulated not in our data. Even though this data had 41,472 entries, some of those were not there. And let's just look at what the summary stats for it say for the gene bank accession ID. If there are any zeros, let's look at the summary stats for the GBCC feature in the data of 41K genes. So we're just going to go to summary, BIG, GB, added by GB, ACC, and see if there are, okay, as dot numeric. Oh, okay. It's a link. Let's go ahead and, because it's a character, because there are letters in it, we can't really use the summary stats. So we're going to go ahead and just order it. All right. We can't order it either. Are there any, let's see if it shows any null. Is no. Oh, okay. False. There's no null. Is there any NA? Is dot NA really equal to true? Okay. Some is dot NA identically equal to true. 0 identically equal to false. So it says there's 41,472 entries for the gene bank accession IDs, but none of them included the but PDL1 and PDL2 genes. So we could just leave it right here. Hold on. And just look at a big list of the values and see if there are any. It's going to cut it off anyways after, 40,400. Okay, so after like about 1,000 of them? Yeah, after 1,000 of them, it cut it off. We don't want to do that. Okay. All right. So we will just leave it there. The other genes though that are there, let's just go over and look at them. Well, we cannot compare to see if the data of ASD has the EBV. Gene targets of PDL1 and PDL2 seen for diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. It's missing because the genes aren't in the data by accession ID. The only way to improve the genes by mapping the GBACC colon 2. Oh, we can't even map it actually by manually searching for the gene by GBACC. Okay, so there are some other genes in Epstein-Barr virus that might be in it, but we can't really go that direction. The other ones are LMD1. I don't know if that one showed up in here. Let's look at our data. It is the top 44. Top 44. I think it's this one. Let's go to the, let me see. LMD1 is seen in nasopharyngeal cancer and gastric carcinoma for Epstein-Barr virus, but I don't see it there. Let's see if the gene bank accession ID. Just one more thing. Okay. One more gene to check is LMD1 by Google search is so no, that's not the one. That is not the one. Okay. Nope, not that one. Okay, so LMD1. And this is in a different organism. I want to look for the, okay. Okay, so it's weird. Let's go to the gene cards. It's latent LMP1. It's LMP1. That's all right. Okay. That's right. It has a different name. It used to be. Yeah, here we go. See it right here. LMP1 associated protein. So they call it TRAF now. And let's see if the gene bank accession ID is there. RefSeq. I think the RefSeq is the gene bank. Gene sequence location. Okay, let's look. So they're going by TRAF3. Let's change that to LMP1. And gene cards goes by TRF3. A locus in C 00. 0014. Okay. And C 000014. BIG, G8, added. Corrupt. BIG, added by GACC. Okay. What is it? No. And we're looking for this one. And there is nothing there for that. Okay, so empty. Empty. All right. So LMP1 was a gene in nasopharyngeal cancer and gastric cancer from mutations caused by EBV, latent type activated. I don't remember what latent type. All right, so that was that for that. We can go ahead and look at the other genes that had summaries other than long non-coding LNC summaries for RNA. Okay. And so we will see that. The highlighted portions. Let's go ahead and clear our filter data. Come on. Clear, remove the filters. A lot of them had to do with like bone and this one is a transcription factor. It's seen in DNA damage, cardiomyopathy. Okay. Well, I'm not going to go over that right now, but it didn't really. So this is like 2% of the autism data. So I think they found after this is why it was the only one there in 2009. And there's been much gene expression work on different pathologies. But it was easier just to do it clinically and then look at them radiographically and then also by their glucose tolerance. Because when I go to the Merck manual and look for it, I looked it up already last night. It is like 2,400 to 26 to 27. 2,700. I think it's 2,700. Okay. Autism spectrum disorder. You know, like people that get stressed out and they like rock their body, or they like flap their hands, or they fidget with their fingers, or sometimes when I'm bored, I just draw little stars on my fingernails, just thinking in my head, I'm listening, but I want you to stop talking. So, I'll just have my fingers right. I'm not autistic, but apparently by this definition, many people are on the spectrum because nobody could just sit there and listen to something that's changing their life. You know, like even just regular meetings, you know, catching up or whatever. I mean, it's all stress, so we deal with it as we do. But that is called a ritualistic behavior or pattern to do, or like lining up stuff. It's a way of dealing with stress. Autism spectrum disorder, basically, it's persistent deficits in social communication interaction, restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, and or activities. I'm only interested in this. I have like no interest in some other things. I'm not saying I'm autistic, but like I think as you get older too, you kind of like don't want to be stressed out, so you avoid it. So basically, these little kids, they are just like reincarnated elderly people who have already lived a life of stress, and they're here and they're just like, I don't want to be stressed out, dude. Like, I think I'm fine just ordering my stuff. yeah, I don't really want to talk to that person. That person sucks, you know, like, but, and then it says that they have no interest in their parents. They noticed it early by that reason. There are some other things, you know, there's behavior, speech and language, physical and occupational therapy is the treatment. But really, and it also says, because they used to say the diet could help, but it says that it hasn't been proven. But it did say it has totally. This is the 2021 20th edition Merck Manual. It has disproven that vaccines are actually a cause of autism. Like, you can get your kid vaccinated, and they said there was only one guy, and that guy falsified information. So they haven't really gone into this this type of work with gene expression data to find the type of autism, because as we can see, a lot of these genes that are top, it's a lot of outliers that are in there, and it could have also been from the machine. It's a TIGR machine, Tiger machine. It could be the way that it's processed. It might not have done it accurately. They're using the lymphoblastic cell line in this gene expression data from peripheral blood cells. So the lymphocytes are part of the white blood cells, as well as the hematopoiesis, granulocytes, blastocytes, basophil, yeah, all that stuff. The natural killers are part of it too, the T cells. And it's a lot of, okay. All right, so let me just go to that part. What did it say? Okay. They're neurodevelopmental disorders characterized by impaired social interactions and communication, repetitive and stereotyped patterns of behavior, and uneven intellectual development, often with intellectual disability. Symptoms begin in early childhood. The cause in most children is unknown, idiopathic, although evidence supports a genetic component. Evidence, it's saying in the Merck Manual, 20th edition, 2021, that genetic components are part of the evidence that supports autism. So it could be genetic, because they do say, I remember reading in here, I didn't highlight any of this, but twins are more likely to both have it. If you have one child with autism, you're more likely to have another child with autism. So that's the genetic component. Autism spectrum disorders represent a range of neurodevelopmental differences that are considered neurodevelopmental disorders. They categorize attention deficit disorder, dyslexia, and intellectual disability. And the neurodevelopmental disorders may involve dysfunction in attention, memory, perception, language, problem solving, or social interaction. Other common neurodevelopmental disorders are those ones I just listed. Current estimates are 1 in 68 will have autism spectrum disorder. There are more diagnoses now because there are more ways to set criteria to fit someone. In most cases, autism spectrum disorder remains elusive. They don't know what causes it, the etiology. However, some cases have occurred with congenital rubella syndrome, and then cytomegalic, which is a herpes family, cytomegalic herpes virus. I think it's herpes virus 5. Inclusion of disease, phenylketonuria, which is basically they can't have fruits juices because of the phenylketone in their urea, in their urine. And then Fragile X syndrome, which is basically all of their genes are not strong enough to handle regeneration for too long because of the telomerase. The tail is just dwindling away, and it doesn't get regenerated fully each cycle. Yeah, and then it says the parents of one child are at risk of having another one. 50 to 100 times greater is the risk. Monozygotic twins is high of both having autism, which is they share the same bag, placenta, monozygotic, I think. But there's different ways that twins are formed. Research can also mean the gamma aminobutyric acid and central nervous system structural components like the HOX genes, HOX. Environmental causes have been suspected but not proven. This is where it says there is strong evidence that vaccinations do not cause autism, and the primary study that suggested this association has been withdrawn because its author falsified data. You must see also MMR vaccine and autism, page 2461. So it doesn't say who the author is, but they falsified the data. There's also differences in brain structure, function, probably underlie much of the etiology of autism spectrum disorder. Some children with autism spectrum disorder have enlarged ventricles. That's also enlarged ventricles. That's where you get all that cerebral spinal fluid that flushes through it. And then you have cleaning systems. It's part of the blood-brain barrier. You have little, a different type of macrophage that's in there cleaning out debris. If you have large ventricles, that's also seen in Huntington's disease later. But that's just a finding radiographically. It doesn't mean they have it. And Huntington's disease, though, you die just as fast as like ALS. You just lose like your balance and coordination. You can't control your body. You're spastic in movement. Okay, I think that's enough. Yeah, so this didn't really support what we've seen. So yeah, we're done with this one.